Hey, this is the Catholic Revert, and today we're going to do a little very fast meditation on the Stations of the Cross. If you're not familiar with the Stations of the Cross, I'll do a little explanation. If you're familiar with them, then stay tuned. I'm just going to do a very quick Stations of the Cross prayer and kind of an explanation. If you're not Catholic, or if you're Catholic and you don't know, every Catholic church has to have the 14 Stations of the Cross in there. So normally if you walk into the church, you see the altar straight ahead, and you usually have the aisle in the middle and pews on each side. If you look at the walls, I'm trying to stay in here, if the pews are here, if you look at the walls on each side of those pews, traditionally, you'll have 7 Stations of the Cross on one side and 7 stations on the other. And the idea is that, especially during Lent, because this is the time leading up to the crucifixion, those 14 stations all represent different parts of the crucifixion leading up to it. Basically, Jesus's footsteps leading up to the crucifixion. And that's it. So you're meditating on these 14 significant points of Jesus's life as right before he was crucified and the crucifixion itself. So it's all biblical. It's for everyone, and it's really beautiful and deep. And there are different levels of meditation you can do. I'm just going to give you quick explanations of each station, and then you can build on it from there. And there are prayers all over the internet, different things that people do. Many times on Fridays during Lent, churches will have official Stations of the Cross prayers that they do as a whole group, as a whole church. Usually like the priest and the altar boys will move to each station, and then everybody just stays in the pews. So it's not like total chaos. So this I found in my church. Come follow me. The Stations of the Cross Minute Meditations, which I think is great if you're new to it. Based on The Way of the Cross by St. Alphonse Liguori. So you might want to check that out. Bishop Barron has one that's beautiful. His meditation with pictures. I like pictures. Can I tell you, videos are always great. But there's also what looks like a rosary bead, which, let me go get it. Hold on. Okay, I found one that's really cool. It's like a rosary. It's very long, obviously, because it's the 14 stations. But if you look, it'll tell you, oh, it doesn't have the number. All right, well, this just has the pictures. I have one that has the number on one side and then the pictures on the other of the Station of the Cross and what it is. So sometimes people will do this, and then you have the prayers in the middle, the 3 prayers in the middle. But we're just gonna do something very quick. So let me just hang this so I don't drop it. If you know the Stations of the Cross, or if you've done them before, please comment below what you think of them, and let me know. Put this in the comments, please. If your church has an outdoor Stations of the Cross, this is so beautiful. There's one in Sarasota that I've been to in Florida that is just, it's so nice. And you end up the 14th station. There's a bench there over the water, overlooking the water on the dock, and it's really nice. It's hard to find the outdoor Stations of the Cross. I think there's one in Naples, Florida as well at St. Agnes. I could be wrong, but I think that there is, because it's out in the back. And oh, what else? That's the only 2 I know of that are outdoor. I think there's one in Jersey, down South Jersey, but I could be wrong. So if you can find outdoor ones, it's so nice, because usually it's nice during that time anyway. Well, depending where you are. All right, so this is what it looks like on the inside. If you can find one of these, this is really nice. This is from Autumn, AUTOM Press, so maybe you can find it there. But I just got it at my local Catholic church. They have a thing in the front with all different prayer cards and everything. So the first station, Jesus is condemned to death. You can see the little picture. The innocent Jesus was condemned to die for the sins of all. Dear Jesus, how easily I get upset if I am falsely accused or misrepresented. Help me to surrender to you and respond in love. The second station, Jesus accepts his cross. See that? Jesus embraced his heavy cross out of love for his Father and all of us. Dear Jesus, help me to accept the sufferings and disappointments that you allow, for you will never forsake me. We are not promised no pains. We are promised trials and tribulations, but we're also promised that he will be there with us. Different. People think they just, I'll never have a problem again, or if God loved me, he wouldn't let bad things happen. That's not the promise. The promise is that he will never leave us and will comfort us in a supernatural way. Truth. The third station, Jesus falls for the first time. Weakened by his scourging and crown of thorns, Jesus fell under the cross. Dear friends, when I fall under life's stresses, help me to trust in you and arise again. The fourth station, Jesus meets his mother Mary. And most stations across all have the same depictions. On the way to Calvary, Jesus met his beloved mother. Her love and faith strengthened him. Dear Jesus, help me to stay near Mary and to share all of my difficulties with her. The fifth station, Simon helps Jesus carry the cross. Afraid that Jesus would die on the way, the soldiers made Simon carry his cross. Dear Jesus, let me help others when they are weak and need encouragement. The sixth station, Veronica wipes the face of Jesus. Veronica felt afraid, but she reached out to wipe Jesus' face with the courage born of love. Dear Jesus, may I also act with courage and speak the truth in love always. The seventh station, Jesus falls the second time. Growing weaker and weaker under the brutal blows of the soldiers, Jesus stumbled and fell a second time. Dear Jesus, help me to also rise if I sin, asking your forgiveness and grace to go on. The eighth station, Jesus meets the women of Jerusalem. As he passed some women lamenting for him, Jesus said, "Weep not for me, but for yourselves and for your children." Dear Jesus, help me to turn from indifference and help those in need. The ninth station, Jesus falls for a third time. As he climbed the hill of Calvary, Jesus fell one last time. With a supreme effort, he got up and finished his journey. Dear Jesus, grant me also the grace to persevere to the end. The 10th station, Jesus is stripped of his garments. When they reached Calvary, the soldiers stripped Jesus of his clothing. Dear Jesus, help me to let go of whatever might keep me from you. The 11th station, Jesus is nailed to the cross. The soldiers nailed Jesus' hands and feet to the cross and then raised him high for all to see. Dear Jesus, let me embrace you on the cross, trusting in your deliverance. The 12th station, Jesus dies upon the cross. After suffering unspeakable agony, Jesus forgave those who crucified him and cried out, "It is finished. Father, into your hands I commit my spirit." Dear Jesus, thank you for dying for me. The 13th station, Jesus is taken down from the cross. Jesus' disciples gently took his body down from the cross, and Mary cradled him in her arms. Dear Jesus, help me to be gentle and kind with those who are suffering. The 14th station, Jesus is placed in the tomb. Mary and Jesus' disciples prepared his body, rolled the great stone over the entrance to the tomb, and departed. Dear Jesus, help me to trust in you, even when you seem to be far away. And that is our meditation on the Stations of the Cross. Very, very quick. So tell me how you feel about it, if it was new to you, if you loved it, and what your thoughts are.